Hey guys, welcome to SmackDown Wrestling Reviews. I am your host, Boise, and we have a bumper SmackDown show. It's the go-home show before TLC, and we have The Bar versus the Usos in a rap battle. We have a WrestleMania rematch, and we have the Heart of 205 taking on the new Daniel Bryan, and much more. So with all that said and done, let's hit the music. So we kicked off the show with Daniel Bryan cutting another heel vegan environmental message, and it pretty much stated he apologises to sheep because apparently we're not sheep now, we are leeches and we don't care about wrestlers, we only care about people who are popular. And I thought that was, this was a good heel promo. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to take anything away from Daniel Bryan's promos. He's always good. Wait, this heel run he's on now is one. I really am enjoying it. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it because we've had so many years of the Yes Movement, and him saying the Yes Movement's dead. It's hard to believe. It really is for a lot of fans. It's one of those things. Can you really believe that something which was so big in wrestling has finally died? And I think it has. I think he's really got that across. And plus, him calling us fickle, and that's really the way he says it. Yeah, fickle. And I was like, wow, that is really, like, it's not like something you expect from a heel to say, but him saying it is kind of like, oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like being called fickle. But yeah, Mustafa Ali did come out, his opponent of the night, and just stating, Daniel, what's going on? You are the guy who inspired all us on 205. You're the one who showed us it doesn't matter if you're a cruiserweight, you can still go for the big titles. You can still take on the giants of the main roster. And I thought that was a really great promo. Mustafa Ali came out, his delivery was fantastic, and the way he just just showed everyone, look, I'm a good guy. And it was nice. It was a nice change for me. And I'm going to say this now because I think it doesn't get said often. WWE don't often write a lot of great scripts for the 205 guys, but this was a really good back and forth promo, and I really enjoyed it. Daniel lost his temper with Mustafa Ali after asking him what car he drove. Apparently, SUV is a bad thing, and smacked Mustafa Ali. Mustafa got the upper hand, and that led on to the match itself. I think this was a really strong show, start to the show, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I really did enjoy the start. Moving straight on to the match itself, this was a really good little glimpse into 205 directly. Mustafa Ali's selling was absolutely fantastic. His high flying moves were brilliant. If you haven't seen it, guys, stop this review, watch Mustafa Ali versus Daniel Bryan. It's worth watching. There's two big matches to watch on this episode this week, and this is one of them. This really was fun. It was a fun match to watch. Mustafa didn't get a lot of offensive in. Daniel was in control majority of the time, but the stuff Mustafa Ali got to use as his counters were absolutely bloody brilliant and fun to watch. But like I said, this was just like a really good little advert towards 205. Now, something I noticed as well, like there's a lot of cruiserweight guys now moving on to the main roster. They're getting like the Lucha House Party are now on the Raw Tag Team division. You have Drake Maverick and Leo Rush getting involved as well in matches on Raw. So I'm hoping we get to see a lot more of the cruiserweights moving between both Raw and SmackDown. Now for me, I would love to see Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, the two biggest names on 205. Go on SmackDown. I think they would fit in perfectly. I think SmackDown doesn't really have that Giants kind of situation. You can beat anyone, even if they're 6 foot tall or they're only 4 foot something. It doesn't matter what the height or the size is. The better wrestler will win, and that's how it feels sometimes on SmackDown right now. And this really showed it on the actual match. Daniel Bryan did win. He put Mustafa in the... I'm not going to say the yes lock anymore because it's not the yes lock. I'm just going to say the Bryan lock. But yeah, Mustafa tapped out after him celebrating. Mustafa's he's walking up the stage, and Daniel Bryan attacks him yet again, beating the crap out of Mustafa Ali. This is really good selling for being a heel, and Mustafa Ali's getting a lot of sympathy. The only little downside was I was kind of expecting and hoping AJ Styles would come out and help Mustafa Ali, but he didn't. The officials came out, separated them both, and that was it. I'm going to give this another 7 out of 10. I thought this was a great starting match for the show, and I think this was a great advertisement for 205. So yeah, next up we had the one thing I know everyone was waiting to watch this week on SmackDown Live, the rap battle between the Usos and the Bar, with the New Day being they're guest judges. This was brilliant. I'm not going to spoil the rap because the rap was fantastic. Check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it. It is brilliant. Sheamus and Cesaro, I give them credit. The way they dressed, the way they acted was bloody brilliant. The Usos, this is in the rap was brilliant as well. I'm not a huge fan of these kind of gimmick kind of things in the show, but this one really worked, and it didn't. At first I was kind of going to worry about the Bar coming off looking stupid, but they did come off looking stupid, but that was just what they were wearing. But they didn't come off looking stupid as characters, and I thought that really was a good little compromise. So you can still have your fun, and fun segments like this sometimes can fail, and this one, luckily enough, was one of the best ones we've had all year. So for me, I'm going to give the rap battle itself, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It is fun, check it out. But after the rap battle, Sheamus and Cesaro did attack the Usos. They beat up both the Usos and the New Day, and they came out looking strong. That's a great way to send off the current tag team champions towards TLC. So yeah, whole segment's gonna get a 7 out of 10, but so much fun to watch. Next up we had Shane O'Mac and The Miz having a bit of an altercation. Now this all started with The Miz coming out to the ring holding the World Cup. He called out Shane O'Mac. Shane O'Mac comes out and goes, "What are you doing, Miz? Why are you treating the trophy like it is a child? What is going on?" And The Miz pretty much cuts a fantastic promo. What, surprise, surprise, The Miz cuts a fantastic promo. It's a shocking one there. Stating, "Look, we're the best in the world. We should be teaming up, and I'm going to prove it to you." And two local talents, the Vegas boys, apparently come out, and apparently this has all been sanctioned by Paige. You'll find out it wasn't. They come out and they beat up on Shane O'Mac. Shane, obviously full-time superstar, beats up both men, and they win the tag team match. After the match, Miz and Shane are arguing backstage. They're going on about what's going on with the Miz, special with the trophy, and then Miz cuts yet another promo, which is really good, stating, "Look, no one ever thought I was going to be best in the world, and I'm 2/3 of best in the world, and it would make sense. You and I could be a great team." And he's selling off this was really fantastic, and it felt a bit like he's being sincere. There's no, he's not trying to be a bad guy here to Shane. He's just saying, "Look, I want to team with you." That's how I see it, and I think that's kind of cool. But I really want to see how this goes. I want to see what happens with The Miz and Shane O'Mac. Are we going to have a match for the trophy at some point? Are we going to have Shane O'Mac versus The Miz at WrestleMania? Who knows, but I want to see how this goes. It's a fun little segment. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Just because of The Miz's promos. Next up we have Randy Orton come out, and he cut a promo as well. And this was all towards his TLC match against Rey Mysterio, which will be a chairs match. Looking forward to this. I think this is a great match for both men. Rey can come off looking absolutely awesome, and if Randy Orton does win this, the weapons will be involved quite a lot, you would expect. But yeah, Randy comes out, he's holding a chain, and he's just describing what he's going to do with Rey Mysterio. He's going to take out Rey and prove to everyone that Randy Orton is the most dangerous man in all sports entertainment. And I thought this was cool. The crowd went mental. You could already tell that Rey was going to come from behind and hit him with a chair. He did. They had a bit of a tussle, but Rey really just kept on smacking him with a chair. 619. Randy ran off, and this was a good little sell for the match, especially the match being added so late to the show. I think I'm looking forward to it. I think this could really be one of the better matches at TLC. But yeah, I want to see if it's going to be as brutal as Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton from Hell in a Cell. So for this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because it really did sell the match for me for TLC. Next up, we had a tag team match where we saw Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev and Jeff Hardy. This was yet again a really, really good match. I enjoyed all of it. Jeff Hardy started the match and he was pretty much the guy who was going to take most of the bumps. It was one of those traditional type of matches. The heels controlled the majority of the match. Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe working really well at the start. Jeff trying his best to get away from both Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. Finally, we got the nice hot tag where the crowd went mental. They were excited to see Rusev in the match. Rusev really overpowered both Shinsuke and Samoa Joe. Jeff took out Samoa Joe with Twisted Fate, which was awesome. I was expecting a swanton, but we didn't see it in this match. Rusev mushka kick to Shinsuke Nakamura, pinning the United States Champion. So this must mean now Rusev is officially the #1 contender for the United States Championship. But yeah, really good little match, really good little tag team, really good little hot tag in it. There's a lot of good little bits in it. It was very short, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it was finally we're going to hopefully have a rival between Rusev and Shinsuke for the US title. Last but not least, our main event of the night was Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, a rematch from WrestleMania with Becky Lynch watching on. This was bloody brilliant. I think the only downside was there was not a lot of time for it. There was, I think by the time the match actually started, I think we had about 10 minutes, 12 minutes left to do this. And it was great. It was the only thing it was like, 5 more minutes. If it had 5 more minutes, it would be perfect. But I tweeted something earlier today, and I'm going to say it again because I honestly believe what I tweeted. I stated that Asuka, Charlotte and Becky Lynch aren't just elevating the women's division on SmackDown, they're elevating SmackDown alone. This main event just showed it. Asuka and Charlotte really worked on each other fantastically. It just shows they have great chemistry, full stop. Asuka looked like she was going to get the win a few times. Charlotte as well, she was really working on Asuka's legs, and that's what, obviously the figure 4 got locked in quite early and she really worked on that. But Asuka really was, in this match, she was playing the babyface, Charlotte was the heel, and that's how it came across. Charlotte couldn't put Asuka away, and we had glimpses of Survivor Series Charlotte Flair where she gets the kendo stick and starts smashing Asuka with it. Obviously Asuka wins the match by disqualification, but that's not going to stop it at TLC. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair have that eye-to-eye kind of thing. Becky's about to walk away. Charlotte hits Becky. Becky goes down, but she quickly gets back up, takes out Charlotte with the kendo stick. Afterwards, she's beating the crap out of her. Asuka kicks Becky when she's got the kendo sticks, takes the kendo sticks and just destroys both Becky Lynch and Charlotte and hitting her. It was like a samurai kind of movie where Asuka is just kicking ass with a weapon, and then it's just like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing at TLC. And it was a great way to close the show. You had Charlotte Flair on the floor, Becky Lynch on the table collapsed, and Asuka on the table holding the kendo stick. For me, this was a great main event. Was it as good as Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin on Raw? It's hard to say. The stipulation for their match was really exciting. It made the match a lot more fun, where this was two really good wrestlers who really went out. Yes, a DQ finish kind of spoils it a little bit, but it really sells the TLC match alone itself. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 as well. Screw it, yeah, it gets a 9 out of 10 as well. And that's it. As well, so usually at this point I talk about the little points and I give the show a final score. But firstly, I'm going to talk about a little thing which kind of got the internet talking. It was Naomi's and Mandy Rose's match. Apparently both women were scheduled to have a match last night at SmackDown. It was advertised on Twitter, both women were bickering, Paige made it official, and it was officially announced on WWE's website and Twitter page. But the match never came to fruition, and people going, what's going on? What's happened? Is someone injured? But apparently no, apparently they're using the Miz's match, saying that the Miz took their time slot, and as well Mandy Rose didn't turn up. This is quite interesting. I know a lot of fans were a bit annoyed because they were wanting to see this, because obviously Mandy Rose has been on a hot streak lately and she's been building up some good momentum in my opinion. But for me, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll probably get it next week on SmackDown Live, but you can't really miss something we've already seen a few times through tag teams, so I'm not too fussed. But yes, this week's episode of SmackDown was bloody brilliant. I really enjoyed it yet again. It was a great show. I want Mustafa Ali to sign for SmackDown permanently. I want him to move to SmackDown. I want Becky, Lynch, Charlotte Flair and Asuka to continue this bloody brilliant feud after TLC in some way. And the new Daniel Bryan is so good. We also had a backstage interview with AJ Styles where he talked about the new Daniel Bryan. That was a slightly okay promo. It wasn't AJ's best promo, but it was okay. So for me, I'm going to give this week's episode of SmackDown Live, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It was a decent show. A lot of good things happening. It really built up TLC for the blue brand. And again, SmackDown just felt fresh. So, there you go guys. What was your favourite bit of SmackDown Live this week? Leave it in the comments below. And if you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell to keep notified. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at SmackTalk YouTube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.